What is up, YouTube? I'm Mr. Bradley. This is the Heat Away podcast. We're talking NFL today, of course, talking NFL playoffs, but I can't do that until I introduce my co-host, my best friend of the show, T-Ball.
What's up, YouTubers? Glad to be here, giving you guys a little different look here. Let us know what you think. But like Mr. Bradley said, going to get you guys some wild card picks here. Before we do that, we're going to get you some overalls, what we did last week. Should be really exciting. I'm excited for these playoffs to start.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bradley, what do you got for us as far as those overalls?
Well, the overall standings, and if you are just now tuning in for the first time, we're talking about our season picks. We've picked games from week 1 to week 17, and this is the standings overall. It came pretty close. You were up 13 games after week 16.
Was that the most I'd gotten up was 13?
13 games. You stayed at 11 most of the time, but last week you were a subpar 6-10.
Yeah, I knew I did horrible.
It was a lot of good games that players didn't play in and stuff like that. So that's kind of part of the reason.
Yeah, that kind of took a big role.
But I went 13-3, my second best of the season. I should have picked everybody opposite of you except for the Chiefs and Packers, and we would be tied right now. But right now, as of all the overall standings, T-Ball, you're 150-90 to end the regular season before we add these playoff picks.
150-90. That's what's up.
150-90, and I came skirting in after that 13 big-time difference of, whatever. I'm 144-96, so I'm only 6 games out now. So if I pick every opposite pick of you somehow, some magical way,
yeah, good luck with that,
I can
bub.
come back, folks.
So the regular season championship is mine.
Yes, regular season champ standings is all you, T-Ball, 150-90.
That's
I'm 144-96. With that being said, guys, let's get into this first game.
Yeah. Should be a great one.
It's going to be some real good wild card games, I think, this week. And the first game is going to be the Bills at Texans. We're going to bring you a little something extra this time. We're going to have some clips and us talking for you guys and how we decide these games. It's going to be a little different. So hope you guys enjoy it. With that being said, let's get into this first game.
So first game, guys, is the Bills 10-6 at Texans 10-6. This should be definitely a really good one here. Obviously, the first wild card matchup that we got for you. This was a pretty tough one. Should be a good matchup. The way I looked at it was I took the Texans in this matchup.
Nice.
The Texans beat New England. New England's beat Buffalo twice. There should be no reason the Texans can't beat Buffalo if the Buffalo can't get past the Patriots. So,
right.
Look at both of these teams to be, real run heavy. But Buffalo's defense is super scary. Don't count out Deshaun Watson. As you've seen in that last clip, Hopkins doing work. So you got to keep an eye on him. The Texans' total offensive numbers look better than Buffalo's, 362.8 yards per game compared to Buffalo's 330.2. J.J. Watt is active.
Yep.
It should be a great matchup. And Buffalo's defense, their pass defense, like you see
it's
here,
ridiculous.
third, it is ridiculous. So if I'm guessing the Texans play this game, they're going to double down on Hopkins. Play the run on defense, and I think that's the only way Buffalo's they're gonna have to keep click on every aspect here. But I took the Texans in this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those games where it goes either way, but when you're playing Deshaun Watson, they all got a week off, so think about that. The whole starting team for both of these teams basically got a week off last week because they didn't play a lot of the starters, but I think it is going to be a run-heavy game. Both these teams kind of are just not very good whenever playing, but let's jump into that with the Darren Fells. When he scores a touchdown in the game, Texans are 5-0. That could spell difference. So maybe look to go towards him right now. But I think the Bills have this just a little better matchup. I know the offense isn't quite as good, but that rush defense and the defense overall is pretty good. It's always in the top, 15 to 20. And
yeah, they're always good. The Buffalo's always good with that rush defense. That's why I think, as you see, Texans' rush offense here it's been pretty decent. But with Buffalo's rush defense, Texans are going to have to come out with something special.
Yeah, they're going to have to. The Bills, in my part, are going to have to do more than just a run. They have a good run game with Josh Allen and company, but I think the thing is he's going to have to get comfortable in the pocket. And he's going to have to learn to pass because this defense for the Texans isn't very strong. I mean, they don't give him much love after losing Clowney. I don't know why they gave him up. They've dropped
him
down
on the other side.
They're like, what, 26th or 28th in defense this year? It just Josh Allen should ball. I mean, he played pretty well for his second year at 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, but he's going to have to do much better than that. They're going to have to, I don't know, man. It's almost like he's going to have to stick in that pocket and learn to pass. But he's not looking good with their pass offers, and that's what I'm saying. They got to get him going early. They're going to have to get short passes, things like that going.
But to give it to Josh Allen, he looks a lot better than he did last year.
Absolutely. He has a couple more, weapons at his disarray, if you want to say.
I mean, he took Buffalo to number 2 in a very tough well, you're going against New England, basically
right,
in New England's division. And not only that, he won them 10 games. And how many games did they fucking win last year? I guarantee it wasn't no 10, and they didn't make the playoffs.
Right. The Bills have it. If they can get this pass going, because just looking at the stats here, third down, they're 31st, the Texans defense. I mean, they're just terrible on pass defense. So that's why I'm saying if the Bills can get it going, if they can get some little dump-off screens, down to the running back or something like that and get that going, they should have no problem moving the ball because this team is not very good on the defensive side of passing the Texans. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like the Bills here. I think a lot of people have been counting them out all year long, but I'm hoping the Bills can get this one done. It's going to be the closest matchup, I think, of two teams here in the playoffs right now. But Texas,
yeah, I believe you're right. This will probably be the closest game in the AFC, at least, as far as these wild card games go.
I think losing Clowney really hurt them. Just going back to look at those last stats you just seen, they're just not getting to the quarterback, pressuring him or sacking him. They're in the bottom half of the league. Very, very bottom half of the league. J.J. Watt's going to have to be superior for you to beat my Bills and for your Texans to come out with this game. And he's only played in half the season this year with that back injury and everything else he's always having. But like I said, go after the rush. Maybe you can do a little something because, look, they're 8th overall in yards per game and yards per carry is 13th. So maybe that's the way to move the ball against the Texans this week.
If you're looking at, the comparisons as far as rushing, passing, defense, offense, it's like they both these teams counterbalance each other. What one lacks, the other makes up. So that's why I was thinking this could be the better of, the other games as far as that first AFC wildcard game goes. So
yeah, and the matchup in general. But I don't know. We'll see if the Bills pull it out. This is what sucks, man. If they have to play, they win the game. They don't get to play. Well, if they win the game, they'll have to go to the Ravens or the Chiefs. So it's like, even if you make it out of this round, Bills or Texans, you're gonna have a tough game next week. But don't get me wrong, Chiefs lost to the Texans earlier this year, so maybe that could spell some upsets. But Bills is a Sunday game.
Yeah, Bills and Texans are both coming off of losses last week, but it didn't really matter. They were both locked into their seeds. Texans coming in at that 4 seed, Bills in at that 5 seed. Like I said, should be a pretty good matchup.
Yeah, even ESPN has 2 out of 3 guys picking Houston with the Lone Ranger at Buffalo. So I got the Bills. I'm hoping Josh Allen can do a little something, maybe make it out of the wild card round. You got the Texans.
I got the Texans. Like I said, J.J. Watt's back. Don't sleep on
the
J.J.,
Texans.
Especially since he's had some time off. Deshaun Watson and Hopkins, I'm pretty sure, are going to be able to get it done. They're going to average what they average. Just going to go from there.
Hopkins beast, so I'll have to give it up to him. And, we'll see what happens. And that's your first game for the Saturday. It's kind of a game where only Bills and Texans fans will be watching, not much other people if you think about it. But like we said, I got the Bills, you got the Texans T-ball, and we can just move on to the next game.